No.
Is crime in the Fountain City down or is it rising? News Leader 9 talks with Mayor Teresa Tomlinson about a report that says residents are scared to live in the city of Columbus. Plus, gay couples are taking on the state of Georgia, pushing to change the law. Hear about plans to file a lawsuit against state leaders over the ban on gay marriages. And they may be wounded, but veterans in Alabama are not ready to stand on the sidelines. We'll tell you about an upcoming 5K race fully devoted to helping those that have sacrificed for our country. Good evening and welcome to coverage you can count on at 5:30. I'm Cheryl Renee. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. City leaders say crime is down in the Fountain City, but an article in a national magazine says Columbus is one of 10 cities Americans are terrified to live in. All new at 5:30. News Leader 9's Tyrone McCoy looks at the mayor's reaction to the publication on the heels of the city's new crime report.
Sure, Columbus officials say crime is down for the first quarter of 2014 by 24%, but Time magazine looks at a new Gallup poll saying people in Columbus feel unsafe walking alone at night. These statistics look at the FBI's crime report, unemployment rates, and population over the last 2 years. Mayor Teresa Tomlinson says Time magazine is drawing their own conclusions, talking more about walking alone at night, not just being scared to live in the city.
This is a terrific city. It's not a terrified city, and I appreciate the polls, certainly, but the poll that all of this is emanating from was a health and wellness poll.
Mayor Tomlinson added that less than 500 people were surveyed for the study, which is only a fraction of the people in the metropolitan service area, including East Alabama. Now, with the primary elections less than a month away, we want to know what you think are the most important issues for the mayoral candidates to tackle. To voice your opinion, you can head over to our website, WTVM.com. In the studio, Tyrone McCoy, WTVM News Leader 9. Back to you, Cheryl.
All right. Thanks so much, Tyrone. Crime is one of several major issues on the minds of people across the Chattahoochee Valley. But a recent shooting in Kansas City has turned the conversation to focus on hate crimes. In that shooting, 3 people were killed at 2 Jewish community centers. Authorities say 73-year-old Glenn Cross was fueled by hate, meaning he could face both federal and state charges. According to the FBI, racial motivation makes up nearly half of all hate crimes, followed by sexual orientation. Sheriff Jay Jones says hate crimes are pretty rare in Lee County, Alabama.
We do not see much incidence of hate crime in Lee County in our jurisdiction. Not to say that we haven't had that. We have. But it's not something that is very common at all. It's rare, as a matter of fact.
Hate crimes are motivated by biases based on race, religion, sexual orientation, ethnicity, and disability, and have dropped in numbers in recent years in the United States. According to the FBI, there were nearly 5,800 hate crime incidents in 2012, compared with 6,200 in 2011.
And we're watching the radar network out there on this Tuesday. Some showers and some thunderstorms moving through the valley. The good news, nothing severe out there, but some of these storms have had some heavy rain, some lightning, some thunder, and some gusty winds. But the heaviest of the shower activity beginning to move out, and I think later on tonight we will be rain-free across the valley. Here's your big picture view. This is a cold front that we've been tracking, and once this passes on by, the clouds will decrease and we will have some much nicer weather in the forecast for the next couple of days. But for the rest of the evening, yes, we'll still deal with some showers out there at times. I think most spots by midnight especially should be on the dry side. We're going to talk more about your extended forecast, including a look at some warmer weather ahead coming up here in just a bit. Cheryl.
All right. Thanks so much, Derek. 7 people have filed a federal lawsuit challenging the state of Georgia's ban on gay marriage. Lambda Legal filed the lawsuit today, going after the state registrar, the clerk of Gwinnett County Probate Court, and a Fulton County Probate Court judge. Shane Thomas, who is part of the lawsuit, has 2 daughters. He says his life is just as ordinary as heterosexual couples.
Our day-to-day life is extraordinarily ordinary. I think people would be shocked just how ordinary our lives are. But when we had an opportunity to step forward and to be heard and to be leaders on this issue, it was important to us to take that opportunity.
In 2004, Georgia voters approved a constitutional ban on gay marriage. It was challenged in courts, but the state Supreme Court ruled in 2006 that the vote was valid. Gay marriage is now legal in 17 states. The city of Enterprise, Alabama is getting set to recognize wounded veterans. The Boll Weevil 100 will kick off to host several hundred participants for a 5K race and bike ride. More than 40 wounded warriors are expected to participate. Raycom News reporter Kim Smith has that story.
The front, and it's got the border.
Jacqueline McKinstry has been making quilts for about 5 years.
This means a lot to me. This is a very special project.
Now the patchwork is going to help comfort a soldier serving the country.
Just to wrap them and make something beautiful and something that I'm hoping they'll pass down through their families.
McKinstry is very familiar with the military life. Her husband and son both served in Afghanistan together.
It's a very nerve-wracking situation. My son was flying missions and my husband was in Kabul going across the city several times a week and in danger. And it's, I just pray a lot. It gives me time to think about them. I usually pray for whoever's going to get the quilt that I'm making personally.
And sharing that feeling with other families, she decided to join Quilts of Valor, a national organization that sends quilts made with love to soldiers.
It's awesome. Anybody who makes a quilt needs to gift one once, at least once.
And it's the same love she hopes to pass to wounded warriors. As the city of Enterprise dedicates the week of May 4th to wounded veterans, a quilt will be handed to wounded warriors, also a specialized bicycle for soldiers to participate in the Boll Weevil 100, a 5K run and bike ride.
I've given by the way of giving limbs. The others have suffered through post-traumatic disorders. And not only do they suffer, but their families suffer as well. And we always want to make sure as a community that we're giving back as much as possible.
Now about 40 to 45 wounded warriors are expected to participate this year. The Wounded Veterans Project will provide free bicycles as well as lodging expenses for their families.
The Enterprise Lions Club has donated $17,000 worth of top-of-the-line bikes for wounded veterans. Coming up on News Leader 9 at 5:30, we're taking a look at Parkinson's disease. We'll talk to a specialist about understanding the debilitating disorder.